lock up in, I'm your number one fan. Showtime. Hit me with that backstage passing, you love, you love, you love. Showtime. Let's make it spectacular, spectacular. Showtime, baby, it's showtime.
Hard work and dedication, no days off. You gotta go get it, cause they ain't gonna give it to you. We never have our hand out, we had our plan out. We don't ever try to fit in, cause we already stand out. I am your host, Mr. Hollywood Mac, and I'm joined by my brother.
Man, Todd Lamar, Rock the Rider, Todd, Rock, whatever you want to call me, man. That's who I am, man. You know what I mean? I'm here.
And we got the amazing.
You're amazing. You got it
Not
right.
so much amazing
Shawnee.
today. Shawnee.
Don't.
Not so much amazing. You know what you did.
You know what y'all
You
did.
know what you did.
Today we got a special guest. He is a father, a son, a brother, a nephew, an uncle, a friend, a creativity and innovation consultant, a cultural strategist, a leadership coach, a disabled U.S. Air Force veteran, the founder of Phoenix Innovation Group, LLC. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vision Podcast, Najja Bouldin.
Appreciate that.
What's good with you, my guy?
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for having me.
Man, appreciate you for coming, man.
Long one over here.
Word. Man, you ready to get into it? Oh, how's everybody weekend? How was your weekend, man?
Weekend was good, man. We did the listening party for you.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Where was you at, Sean? Oh,
Higher.
That was
Do
dope.
Where's
you
you
want to
at?
get into it?
Where's you at?
Because y'all noticed I was not there. Did not call to see if I was breathing. Did not call to see if I was okay. Did not call to see anything. And I just think y'all did a disservice to humanity by not including
You know
me.
what's funny? One time I seen LeBron James call timeout and call one of the players and says, "You know what? Why you ain't on the court?" You ever see that?
First and foremost, I am not LeBron James, and neither are you.
If we a team, show up.
Show up.
You know when it's game time, right?
Where?
I
We
would
told you.
have showed up
Weeks
this
ago.
Friday because my calendar
We gave you the
said
memo
March
weeks
28th.
ago.
My apologies.
Listen, we ain't, you know what? We ain't gonna harp on that.
We not.
Full
Weekend was
accountability.
good. It started off with the dope listening party.
Yeah.
Hell of a turnout.
Yeah, it was dope. Man.
Dope music.
Want to thank everybody for coming out too, man. I appreciate it.
What's up?
Appreciate it. Those
Thank
who showed up
everybody
for
for
me.
representing for me too in my absence.
Those who showed up for the kid, I appreciate it. Those who didn't, not so much. But
Hear it. I know your
shit.
music.
How was your weekend, bro? Cool.
Fantastic. My son opted to be on this side this weekend, so
Okay.
kind of like reset me because I had some things on my agenda, but I ended up not even making it out once he was home. So
Okay.
just like a reset.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's always pleasurable to have the young one, the young king.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, it might be a little boring compared to what y'all had going on.
No,
Nah,
man,
man,
no,
not at all, man. Not at all, man. Hey, so you know what today is, right? We're gonna hit that number one.
Okay.
The
Let's talk
most,
about it.
the
I like
most
that energy.
famous, the most important crackhead I think of all time. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to that in a minute. But before we get into that though, over the weekend, man, I was just sitting back thinking, and I was getting aggravated because I was starting to see things that just was pissing me off. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, and it made me. I was like, yo, I wish I could create a cease and desist list for, you know what I'm saying? If I could just send out cease and desist to these people so they could just stop doing the things they're doing. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
it's really, it's affecting me. It's affecting my livelihood, man. I don't like it.
Well, you know, I don't want nobody to steal your joy and, you know,
Right.
lower your energy.
But I got to get into it. Now I'm gonna see if y'all agree with me.
Okay.
These people or women?
I got about four different joints for women.
Do they legitimately smoke crack? Or you?
No. We ain't cracking it yet.
Okay.
We're gonna go into this season. So right now I'm starting off with Jay-Z. I listen, I love Hov.
Okay.
I'm a Hov. We was listening to Hov on the way here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm not a fan of this version of Hov.
Okay.
This version of Hov, like the Jamaican
This new guy.
voodoo priestess. I'm not a fan of it. He looked like a Jamaican warlock. I'm just remember the Meat Muppet? When I was going meat. Remember with he like the Jamaican version of meat version.
So why do you need a cease and desist? about
Because of the
this
hair,
person?
because I want him to go. Listen, I want him to go back to cough up a lung where I'm from. I need that hoe.
Right.
The Cesar Romero, the tight edge up.
Right.
He need to come see you, Matt.
He's 55.
I hate it.
He said once he grow, he did prophesy.
He's
He did prophesy
55.
that. He said
What do
once
you
he grow,
expect out of
once
a
you grow, people ain't gonna
55-year-old
really
grandpa?
rock with you no more.
I'm just saying. Listen, he can go on the ride. He can go ride it out to the end. I just don't want to see him performing with it. Not that. Not the snakes. I'm not with it. The Jamaican. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of it, fam. I'm not.
You do know, like, that hairstyle is very popular in Florida.
Okay.
Everybody in Florida has
Hope's
that.
not from
throughout
Florida.
the culture.
Yeah.
Florida just.
Hope's not from Florida, though.
But listen,
Florida,
you
though.
know what though? The manyest times I've been in Florida, right? I've talked to so many people who got dreads and braids and, you know, just all kinds of different hairstyles that's long. And I asked them, I said, yo, why everybody out here grow their hair and it's so hot? It's like, man, ain't no good barbers.
Yo,
That is not.
his joints is tight.
Yeah.
Pause.
Thank you, sir.
His
Yeah.
joints is tight.
Yeah.
Hope's don't look like that.
Not at all.
Freeform.
I don't like it. Cease and desist. That's all I'm saying. Cease and desist. All right, moving on. Ladies, I gotta go here. Okay, Shawnee. Now you know there's these lace front wigs that's going on with it. It's popular today, right? But what happens? I don't know what's going on with, like, when the screen, you can still see you can still see
To call it the screen is
Yo.
the screen in the front ain't quite screen. It's supposed to, you ain't even supposed to be
covered.
detected.
They
You
call
ain't
it
even
the
supposed to
screen is
detect the
wild.
screen, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to see it.
Yo, I seen this shit the other day.
You're not supposed to
Listen,
see it.
the screen was popped up,
Oh,
and her whatever she was hiding, the kinky, the
Flag.
hair,
Popped
her
out.
real stuff was coming up under the screen.
flag on the play.
Cease and desist. Do you agree?
Okay, let me stop you there. Why does it matter to you
Mm.
that
No.
her screen is showing?
It bothers me.
Why?
Because we look crazy. First and foremost, since you want to go to, since you on
Go
one
there.
today, you already on my
Go
bad.
there.
So you already
Go
on my
there.
bad
Let's
side.
get it.
Let's go.
So we gonna go here today. You seem like you want to battle today.
I
Let's
mean-
go.
I'm gonna tell you why. First and foremost, boom. I'm in traffic court with my son, right? You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? I'm already aggravated. It's early in the morning. I told him don't be speeding. He's speeding, so I got to go to
Not her
traffic court now.
fault. Okay.
Okay, boom. So I'm there. So the couple come in, stinking. They were stinking. All right. I'm already
Is this
aggravated.
the same one with the screen?
Yes, it's
Oh
the one
my
with the screen.
goodness.
This is
Oh,
what
and
tell
she
me why
got a
it bothered
man.
me.
Funky
And
screen.
she got a man.
Hold on.
Are you single?
Yeah, but they both were stinking.
But
though.
are you single?
Let me break it down. Huh? Because I choose to be. Because I choose to be.
Listen, stay on the topic.
I ain't gonna let her. I'm not gonna let her. I'm
She's
not
just
gonna.
throwing-
Yeah,
she's
I'm
throwing
yeah.
rocks.
She
She's
hot
throwing
because she
rocks.
ain't show up. That's your bad.
Yeah, I ain't
That's your bad. But here, anyway, they come in. She got on pajamas.
Okay.
You feel me? Footies,
Okay.
whatever.
Oh, they didn't wash. They just walked out the house.
Stinking, right?
Okay.
So I'm aggravated.
Okay.
My nose
Be
health.
funky together as well.
Okay.
My nose health is
What?
important to me.
Okay.
You feel me? My nostrils just taking a beating.
Okay.
Nostril hairs are singed. They stink.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking too, I know they look like they about, they in their 40s. They look like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my 40s. I know I could tell somebody in their 40s.
Okay.
Why are we stinking in our 40s?
Mm.
So that's why that bothers me.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at the judge when he up there talking to him, and he just looking at these like, I can't, it's more Negroes. You know what I'm saying? And you know what he really wanted to say,
Yeah.
niggers. You know, in there, the person we stinking, we did misrepresent. He got his pants all the way down, rump out. She stinking, pajamas, and we just look crazy. I was poking my son. I said, "You see how we look? This is why I don't want to be here, because this is how we. This why
This is why you don't want to be here. Where?
I didn't want to be in the
Court,
court. That's
Okay.
why I told him, like, yo, you gotta just make sure you're doing the right thing. And I'm gonna tell you when he caught the ticket on New Year's, right?
Mhm.
And I tell you, he was so cocky. He's like, yo, Dad, I got said, yo, this is the day they're gonna be out here, man. You gotta be careful. Cause they just, you know what I mean? They're gonna be out here on the prowl. It's New Year's. Most accidents happen on New Year's.
Right.
And
Got it.
he got spotted and got
Did
it.
they let
Okay,
him
so-
go?
Hmm?
Did they let him go?
Nah, we got to pay some fines, man.
Okay.
Well, that's his lesson to learn.
It is. But back to what I'm saying.
But maybe
You-
her screen was showing because one, she couldn't afford to get it installed properly.
Okay.
She was trying to look halfway decent.
You don't know what people are going through.
Right.
All right.
So for you to judge her screen, as you call it,
Yeah.
which is a lace,
It wasn't screening though.
It probably wasn't, but you don't know what she going.
Well,
Okay.
let me add this, right?
Go
if
ahead,
you
go
can't
ahead.
afford it, don't attempt it.
Don't attempt to do it. Just rock
not
your
true.
peas
No,
out.
That's
that
not
is
true.
true.
Just
She
go
could have put her
peasy
hair in a
with it.
ponytail. Natural. Go natural.
Everybody is not built for natural.
Could have been wicked.
It was wicked. Because I told you it
But
was peeking.
everybody is not
It
built
was
for
peeking up
natural.
under the screen. It was very
See,
wicked
you
under
know,
there.
so,
And
let me
She
put a little
clearly
something
has
on.
somebody who likes her the way she is.
Right. got the smell of sex.
So
still
for
on
you
her.
to judge, right,
Right.
You know what I mean?
right. For you to judge
Mhm.
and cease and desist her screen,
Yeah, it needs to be.
is wild work.
But this is not just her. This is running rampant. It's running rampant out here because people aren't taking the proper time to go cop the proper hair unit. You feel what I mean? My mother, she's a wigger. You know what I'm saying? My mother
Huh?
gets busy. She's a
Oh,
wigologist. Wigger.
Yeah, because I'm like,
I know what you
What?
Yeah.
A wigologist,
Okay.
if you will.
It came off like that.
Yeah, it
I
came
see,
off,
I
yeah.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But your mom is probably
My
also
mom's joints be laid.
experienced,
Laid.
and
Right.
I'm
You hear
sure
me?
she probably had a couple
Scream
bad
be
ones in her day.
screaming.
but she probably from
Dog.
that
But
church crown
she-
era.
For sure. She's
You
the
know what I
first
mean?
lady. My
Oh,
father's
is she
passed.
the first lady?
Yeah.
Her hats match her suits, match her
Yeah.
shoes.
When you
match her
rock your
purse.
units, do your screen be screening?
I never have worn one ever.
okay.
I
And
think-
my hair is natural.
If you took the
I
time
just
to wear
wear
one, would it
braids.
be screening or would it not be screening?
I'm scared of it because I like my edges, and
Okay.
I just don't.
I'm
know.
glad you brought up edges. That's
Oh,
next on my
Jesus.
list. That's next on
I
my
think
list.
this ultimately boils down to a class issue,
All
right?
Yeah.
and
like,
preference.
You made it to a certain space in your
Right.
life, and it's just like certain other things just probably perturb you when you see it.
Yeah.
And
When you
just so happen to be your culture,
It-
and just like maybe not even your culture. I won't even say that.
Right.
We just happen to be the same skin folk, right? And then
Mhm.
when you speak on that as the same skin folk, it kind of is gonna rub folks the wrong way. Like probably it
Mhm.
is.
We gonna
right
go
now,
here.
right? But
I'm glad you said edges.
Go
So what
ahead.
do you think about this? When they put over too much edge control in the edges and it's a crustation over the
that's
edges.
days old though, ain't it?
You know what I'm
Not-
saying?
Crusty?
Sometimes it's not diesel; it's just product.
It's just
Okay.
pride.
So when
It's
it
the-
has a lot of alcohol in it, sometimes it turns like flaky and white.
all right, because I
I'm
seen
sure they should look in the mirror before they step out the house, but sometimes they don't.
but it's like
but why does this bother you?
it
You
just
should open up a school for etiquette. We missing.
that's what I'm
those.
trying to do
We
right now.
missing
You
those things.
You want to
So
help?
we
You're
have-
not letting
no,
me be great
right
we
now.
Have,
Houston-
we have
Houston
choices
still
in
got
life.
a
You can
couple
choose
etiquette
to look
schools.
at her, or you could choose not to.
I'm just saying. But a couple of times,
Yeah.
these are the type.
It's hard.
Yeah.
This is what's approaching me
visible.
sometimes
if
too.
we sharing the same space, it's kind of. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Folks should mind their business, but then
Right.
I get what you're
You-
saying too.
You
Like
feel me?
it's hard if we in this same.
And then what if these is the kind of
space.
woman that's coming at you too? What
If
do you
they
do?
coming at you, just be like,
It is those
nah,
type of
sis,
women.
but let me,
Because you
no,
gotta-
say
then-
no, sis.
but
you
then
it's
gotta
assessing-
work on
Let me
it.
let me
assessing the
close your
market that you're a
screen.
part of, too,
Let me
though.
close your screen.
Let me close your screen door open. Your screen door open.
Your screen door
And it's
wide
foul.
open. You letting flies in,
It's
mos-
wild.
mosquitoes. But
But
it's assessing the market you in too, though. You know what market you in when you
That
here.
part.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard because you know a lot of folks. You just know what you're getting when in Buffalo, New York. You know what I'm saying?
No. What does that mean?
Because
Here she
Let
goes.
me go.
Here she goes.
Firecracker.
so
In Buffalo?
Yes, there's a mentality here in Buffalo. Yes, it is.
If y'all lived in another city, I'm sure they would
gonna
try
see
to.
that.
I'm
You
not
definitely
saying
gonna
we
see
wouldn't.
that.
There is an overabundance
you
here, though.
definitely gonna see that. It's just that in certain areas in the city, because the city has been done wrong, and we have such a light population of Black folks, such a great migration from Buffalo because there was no jobs, and a lot of people moved their families out of here. Those who stayed, I'm not going to say most people, but a lot
Schooler,
of folks
man,
ended up in the
schooler.
street some kind of way throughout the 80s and the 90s if you was Black. Now, what that looks like now in the 2020s is we got a lot of transplants coming in the city. They look
Mhm.
how they look coming from whatever cultures they come from, but the folks
Mhm.
that's been here is
Mhm.
very comfortable with this being a large living room. So I might know Shawnee. Shawnee know how I give it up. I'm
Mhm.
just going in here to do this, and I don't care about doing this right now. So I'm
Mhm.
just gonna throw something on,
Mhm.
right? You got some people that feel like that's uncouth.
Mhm.
You got some people that say you should have some etiquette about yourself and do.
Some dignity.
Blah, blah, blah.
We should not be in court with pajamas on, with our screens up. I'm sorry. We need some dignity as Black people. Bring dignity back.
And what's the first thing they do when the news come
But
out?
are they indignified if they do that?
You just don't know her situation. That's all.
But
I'm
here's the
saying.
thing.
I don't.
I don't think that's a
even with the
Buffalo
news,
thing. I don't think
people
it's a
come out,
Buffalo thing.
especially the news. They'll go and get an interview from the person who got the bonnet on, got the
Right,
pajamas
right.
on, with the big
That's
T-shirt. with
That's
no-
a little bit different. You asking the superior party in this place, and I'm not calling them superior by any means.
right.
They do that on purpose. They do that purpose. So they're not gonna get Mac. They're not gonna get Rock. They're not gonna get Shawnee.
Right.
They're gonna look for the person that's nosy and right there and be like, hey, come here, you want to say a couple of things?
But you know what? I feel like they do that purposely because they like, yeah,
Right.
let's expose them and put them on
Right,
national news.
right,
and
because it's
make them look bad.
It's an identity thing. You know what I mean? If you get people that identify with that, they're gonna feel seen seeing a person like that. They might not feel seen with y'all with the big Jews on and all that. I can't identify. You know what I'm saying? Like some people gonna feel like that. Some people gonna feel like that's so far out my reach.
This is my thing. You don't gotta have the flashes. I just say have some dignity for yourself. Like if you're gonna come
what does
outside,
that look like?
Not
What does
having
that look
pajamas on outside.
Okay.
Not having
So if
footies
somebody
on.
But what if
approaches
somebody
you-
taught me that? What if somebody taught me that it was okay to be myself and come
Right.
outside with my pajamas
You
on?
don't notice
That's
the
the kind of
difference.
culture that I come from.
Well, I think we got to get to a certain age. I think if we like 35, we 40, and we coming outside in pajamas. I mean, I think at some point we got to just take some accountability. Like we got to, you know what I mean? It's things that I did when I was 19 that I ain't doing no more, bro.
I feel you, but
You feel what I mean?
Is that I definitely feel you, but is that assuming that we all come from the same culture? Just because we all black?
That is true. That's true.
We
Because
all don't come from the same
like you
culture.
said, people say, hey, listen,
Everybody
you
don't have
good?
home
Go ahead,
training.
just go in your pajamas. You all right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
went through I see young men do it. They be outside college,
Key
high
word,
school.
young
with-
men though. Young men though.
But that don't look like it, but college and high school. So that means there's a progression there. It didn't stop.
They definitely going to school with pajamas
They
on.
are.
and Crocs.
You get what I'm saying?
I work
Yeah.
near South Park and Timon.
And I think
And both and kids all along the street, pajama pants and hoodies.
And I think athleisure is going to be looking like that within the next 10, 15 years because this is what they like to wear regularly. Crocs.
It's comfortable.
You get what I'm saying? So if athleisure is in now in the corporate space where you get to wear certain sweatsuits that look corporate, then I could see in the next 10, 15 years them having some type of fashion revolution where folk look at Crocs. People wear Crocs to work.
Okay.
We've never seen that
somebody
coming.
with
Yeah,
a screen
not at
up
all.
approaches you.
Crocs
Not at
failed.
all.
What was that, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Crocs
I've
failed
had
10,
mine a
10
long
15
time.
years ago. They failed. Then they came back. Now everybody wear Crocs and everywhere.
Okay.
If
Well,
somebody-
okay.
Croc
if
boots and all
somebody-
kind of stuff.
If somebody
Okay.
approaches you with their screen up,
The screen up. Yeah.
are you going to say
With the salute, we call it.
With the salute. With the salute. If somebody approaches you with the salute,
Word with the salute.
are you going to say, "Hey sis," like,
Your screen is up.
You can't do that.
are you
now
going
you
to
open
say
the door.
something?
You a Grammy artist. You can't be playing those kind
If
of
I
games.
look
You open
crazy,
the door for
I
disrespect.
want y'all to say, "Shiny."
Nah.
You don't want you.
Well, y'all might not do it because y'all didn't call me on
well,
Friday.
well,
You
listen,
know
here's
what?
stop it.
But at the
Stop
end of the day, at the very end of the day, y'all know our people, regardless of the culture.
But you know what?
So if you go up to a person and be like, "Yo,
No, if she approached you though, if she approached you and the screen is up,
oh, I gotta
You not gonna say nothing
respectfully,
either?
I gotta respectfully lie to her.
you got to.
What?
Okay.
Ma'am, I'm
Listen,
You ain't gonna let her know she out here phone.
Ma'am, I'm engaged.
I've always been the
Ma'am, I'm
I've
engaged.
always been the
Because it
person to
works for
speak.
her. It works for her.
Maybe she
The
don't
man-
know it's saluting you.
It don't work.
She got up.
It's not working
She
out.
came to court smelling like sex. It's working for her.
A room full of sex toys.
I'm just not her
Hot room.
type. That's it.
Wet puppy.
So I'm not gonna.
She smell like wet puppy.
I'm not gonna destroy this person in front of me because she's not my type.
Okay.
It's not
Period.
destroying.
That's just like having.
It's not destroying. It's
That's just like-
it's informing.
Nah, I don't know.
It's not what you say, it's how you
slippery.
say it.
It's a slippery slope. It's
It's
just
a
like if
slippery
somebody
slope.
come to you unprepared, funky, right?
Mm.
Guy about to have a night of bliss and it's not right. Okay, so what do you say?
You stink. You asked. I'm giving it to you. What? You stink.
Listen, let me tell you something. You have to be honest.
listen.
You have to be honest.
You gotta be honest,
it's not
bro.
what
You have
say,
to.
It's how you say it. If
That's
y'all
my-
are about
that's
to
where I'm
be
at.
intimate with
Yeah.
a young
That's
lady,
where I'm
Okay,
at.
listen.
and she's a little, you know,
I'm
Little
upset.
raw.
Let me
First
ask
of all,
you
you
something.
disrespecting me.
Little raw.
Hold on.
You
Let me ask you something.
disrespecting me now.
You
As a
disrespecting
female.
all of us.
If it's
You
five
disrespecting
of y'all.
us in here.
Listen, if it's 5 of y'all,
Yes.
right? Females, and you have a friend, and y'all dropping her off to see somebody,
mhm.
and then y'all say to the guy, I can't believe you dealing with her. You know, we call her stank guy. And y'all didn't say nothing to her. That's just equivalent as
That's
a
not
man
gonna
that's
happen in my friend group. Number
Okay.
one.
All right.
No, I'm being
Ain't nobody ever been filed when y'all.
I'm being a totally
She ain't,
transparent.
she
here.
ain't never put nothing
The
wrong in her
conversations we
calendar
have
either.
in the car
Right,
prior to you
right,
getting dropped
right.
off, we check it.
You don't make
we
mistakes.
checking you we checking you to make sure that you okay before you go see brother because we don't want him talking about you. We for doggone sure don't want him to say nothing to nobody else and it come back to us because then we gotta defend you. But we like.
So I think that get messy though. So when you could just leave a person alone and let them go, they happy. So basically, I don't care enough, especially if I don't have no plans for you later on, and we were just supposed to have a good time. I think it gets messy when you do that because it implies that you care.
Okay,
because I'm turned off completely after that.
Let me move on to this next one.
I don't care for you to rectify that and then come back through.
Okay, boom, Mac. I'm talking about Meg. You know what I mean? Mac, now you know it's about to be summertime, right?
Correct.
Now there's a certain way. This is the sandal right here, right? This represents sandal.
Right.
Okay.
These are toes. Right? If your toes are hanging off said sandals.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
They're not yours.
But what if she's sweating and her foot slid?
I ain't done yet. Hold on. And your toenails are discolored. You know,
now you're different. Now
see now,
I'm saying you should.
These are
where you be hanging at? Where you be at? It sounds like you be in the trenches.
This what you hang with?
Ain't nothing wrong with that either.
Yo, your toes are hanging off said open toe. Off.
You ain't catch that. You ain't catch
ground. You ain't pat ground like that.
But you ain't catch that at the music festival.
Hold on. The problem is this. The problem is this. No matter where we went, we on tour. You on the tour bus, we getting off the bus, we going city to city. You see everything.
You see everything.
He don't miss nothing.
I don't miss nothing. I'm very observant.
Listen, he like this, Mac.
You might be a little.
He be like, Mac, I know. Yeah. He said, Mac, I know you seen that. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, stop.
Mac, what did we see today? What did we see today, Mac? I know it's off color.
What did we see or what did he see?
We caught it at the same time. We caught it at the same time.
We took about 10 bottles back to the bottle return.
10 bags.
10 bags of bottles back to the bottle return, right?
Bottles.
So, you know, this guy walks in.
Serious. He was dead serious.
This man had one bottle.
One bottle.
He looked at the dude. He was like, here. Dude gave him 6 cents. He was like, thank you, and walked out the door. But I was just like, hey, I told Rock, I said, listen, you're going to put that in his jar, man.
Do y'all remember the big boxes back in the day?
Yeah.
The big boxes that used to be in the store when they used to take the joints and throw them joints? The corner store. Used to come in there with the cans and they used to take them joints, throw them in the big boxes. Yep. Have them come around and pick it up. They used to do that all the time. Yeah. It's just different now.
Yeah, it is different.
It's a little different. And you get 1 cent more.
Bottle was about that size too, wasn't it?
It's 6 cents to 6 cents, okay?
Y'all just been wealthy a long time. That's
listen, man, you gonna say that while I'm drinking my water, man.
That's just been wealthy.
So what do you guys say about the toe?
So the toes should not go over. We all know
toenails look like marble.
Yes,
They're different colors. They black.
We all know that. Okay.
I'm just saying.
They should not look like that.
They shouldn't. Okay.
But in women's defense, like if they have on a heel sometimes with open toes, your foot will slide. Now you can slide it back, but your toes should be done
especially
if you're going to ever.
Should they be pedicured?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah. Should the back of the heel look like?
No.
If they stand still.
What's that Fantastic Four, the creature?
The rock.
Should your heel look like Thing? The Thing, right?
Thing.
Should your heel look like Thing?
Not. No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
And listen, if they standing still, listen, y'all talking about sliding feet.
Right,
if they standing still, foot is directly on there, but the feet sticking out.
Yeah,
and the heel is back here. It's too small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
somebody else said it.
I call her ambitious.
Somebody else
her ambitious. She really wanted to get that off.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't date her, but you know.
So what is it? So if your foot is on the outside where the heel is, and on the outside,
how many dudes wear a too tight shoe because they got to get their fit off for the night?
I don't even know.
Dudes do that. Dudes definitely do that. Dudes definitely do that. You go to some dudes. You go to some dudes' houses. I mean, granted, some dudes is gonna have like the orthopedics in there, right? But if you see that insole out,
that means the shoe too small.
Yeah.
Thank you. I learned.
They trying to get their vibe off.
Right.
They trying to get their vibe off.
But their toes are inside. Though their toes are still inside. You can't see that they're hurting. You can't see that they're in pain. You can't see the toes are bunched up. You can't see it.
I agree. It shouldn't look like
that. But your toes. You should know thy toe.
Know thy toe.
You know what I'm saying? Know thy toe health.
Know thy toe and heel.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I think y'all should get T-shirts said that I've been wealthy a long time. So when you go to court,
because
when you go to court and all that kind of stuff, you put that on. So that way, when people see you, they already know what's up with you. You know what I'm saying? They need to know, just like you can see what's up with them. I feel like they
You
need
look
to be
pretty
able to see
wealthy
what's up
too,
with
though,
you.
too, bro. You came in here
but you
well
know
groomed
what?
today. You came in here well. Your edge up is edge up in. You sharp. I mean, come on, son.
Your teeth are
you're not
amazing.
Thank you.
first
See,
of all.
Ben.
Appreciate that. Well,
Yeah, you and Lamar must go to the same dentist.
You see what I mean?
probably do.
It's just called taking care of yourself.
And that's what I'm trying to say, Johnny. Taking care. We need to take care
I'm
of
obsessive
ourselves.
compulsive though, and I'm not just
I am
saying that.
too.
I'm not saying that like just self-diagnosing. That's
Mhm.
the truth. So like for me, things like him, things gross me out. And it's-
That's what
it
I'm.
ain't
That's
no
what I'm trying to
turning-
say. It
ain't no
bothers
turning
me.
back.
This stuff bothers me. Like this one, being pretty and your breath stink.
I hate it.
That's
I hate it for
crazy
dudes
to
too.
me.
I hate it for dudes
Like
too.
how you gonna be
Being
pretty,
handsome
have the
and your
pretty
breath stinks.
features, and you
Yeah.
got ugly girl breath?
Mhm.
That's weird to me.
Mhm. Agreed.
Your breath, you know what I'm saying? Your breath should match your face.
So
That's what I'm
ugly
saying.
girls automatically got
Yeah,
breath.
come
they breath
on.
bad.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm
Automatic-
gonna tell you something though, right?
Agreed.
A lot of people,
That's
a
what I'm
lot of
saying.
people don't brush after they eat, which you should. Now, if you out and about, you should have floss on you. Now, a lot of people don't floss. Now, you can brush your teeth and you can
Some
have.
people just got poor hygiene.
Hold on. Like right now, we in March, right?
Right.
Damn near spring, right?
Right.
You can be brushing your teeth, but if you don't floss, you can have steak from December 24 in your mouth.
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm
I
saying?
feel like if it's like that, you ain't brushing right.
no, but you gotta
going in there with
floss.
that 2
You
minutes
gotta-
they told
Listen,
you.
I'm gonna
back
be
in the
honest
day,
with you.
We ain't gonna say no names, but Mac, we know some people. We got some people. Mac, tell the story. We
Y'all
ain't gonna
know
say
some
names.
people
Hold on.
and-
We ain't gonna say
and
no
I'ma
names.
get to it in a minute.
Story, Mac.
I'm gonna get to it.
Y'all
Listen
ain't
though. Now you can
worth-
brush your teeth, right,
Ooh.
and not see nothing in your teeth, right? But if you take that floss and
Gotta
you get in
floss.
between in there,
Mhm.
you will
Yeah.
see
All
a
of that.
chunk of meat and you'll smell it. You'll be like, ooh, it'd be like that death water.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
If you got gastric issues in you,
Yeah.
like that devil. If you got gastric issues though, it could be coming from your stomach. You could have a pocket in the back of your throat. Your tonsils could be filled with those
Tonsil stones.
calcified stones.
Mhm.
It can be a myriad of things. You could have gum disease. You could
But
just have a
It
bunch
could
of
be a
it
lot
all
of things,
going
but
on.
if
start-
y'all
it
know
all
they
start
breast
from the
stink,
mouth.
then you should say something.
listen,
Like,
we
what's
have
y'all
said
But
something.
see, again,
problem?
now
He just
I
said
think
that- he
that's
just-
messy.
Bro
I
just
think
told us
that's
we said
messy.
that's not messy
It's not
though.
messy.
Because unless you have plans,
Listen,
unless you have plans for this person,
So this one of your homies, like I had a homie, and I couldn't take
If
it
it
no
was
more.
me, y'all
The
better
breath-
say something.
His
to me.
breath was just
Listen.
wild. I told the man he should try to suck on the oil of a Glade plug-in, like the Glade plug-in oil.
yo, that's
listen.
this dude.
Hold on.
So
Listen,
rude
I'm gonna
on-
tell the
I
story.
told him suck
I'm gonna
on
tell
it.
the story. He wasn't there.
Come
So
on,
it
tell
was-
the
it was-
story,
it was
Matt.
like- It was like 12 of us. All right, you know,
But we
He
talking
was-
about the same dude though. But go ahead.
we was on tour, and you know, he
Oh, he
had
talented.
he does some work. So
He's
we was on
watching
we was
this.
on we was on, I
It's
don't
okay.
care. We was on tour, and
Breath stink that bad.
we had to, you know, I had to go inside a meeting or whatever. He didn't have to be there, so he's like, "Yo, I'm just staying the whip." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So when I get back down, I'm in the meeting probably for like an hour and a half. So when I get back down, because all the windows was up, you know, we was down south in a hot climate, air was on, didn't even matter. Got in the car, I'm like, yo. So I looked at him. He's like, "You good?" I said,
You know I'm not good.
"So all right, cool." So now I got to go down the street and pick up the rest of the crew. You know what I'm saying? We in a big Cadillac truck, extended joint. You know what I'm saying? Room for everybody. First thing my man do when he get in the car, you know, he was our manager. You know what I'm saying? He get in the car, he's like, "Damn." He said, "Who?" He was like, "Man, it's like, who been doodling in here?" I'm like, yo. So, you know, we all looked at the same person.
And
And
they
he was,
know it. They probably get a kick out of it.
he was like,
at
"Man,
this
roll
point.
down this window, man. Turn that air off, Mac." I'm like, "No, leave the air on, just roll down the windows, man. Do what you got to do." But, you know, it's bad. But here's my thing. And to your point, right?
Mhm.
Say
We can
something.
tell, we can say something, right?
Right.
We can't make the dentist appointment
You
for them.
can't.
You
Yeah.
can't take them to the doctor. They gotta want this for themselves.
want it
No
for
matter how.
themselves.
I've listen.
It starts
Emotionally,
with
you're gonna
saying
start to
something.
resent them if you said something and there's no progress.
Well-
So now you're gonna come back to this person and be like, "Yo, didn't I tell you your breath stink? Didn't I tell you that?" And you're gonna be like, you're gonna be looking for some type of resolution. If that resolution isn't there, now how do you feel about this person?
Well, I mean, listen. Ironically, he'll tell you, I speak up about everything. I don't care. You know what
No,
I'm
that's
saying?
a fact.
And when I do, you know, whether it hurts your feelings or not, I'm a friend.
Mhm.
I'm telling you. So
I'm
so
grateful I
like
got
you
no
said, when
friends
I
like
go
that.
back to you, I'm
Grateful.
like, yo, you ain't gonna take care of that? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I'm
See,
like,
if I got to talk to another person like that, then I'm already
sometimes, you know
you're
what?
already
He
in-
always get on me
in a
all the
foul
time.
space.
It come out like that because I'm at my breaking point.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta be brutally honest if you want change.
Why hang up? Like, why
I
have those
agree.
kind of
You
people
gotta be brutally.
around?
You gotta be brutally honest if you want change.
You're
though.
not really a factor to what we got going on. You don't make what we're doing better. In fact, you're
But at the time,
actually perturbing the
No,
situation.
but at the time,
so
he
why
was-
are you still around?
But at that time he was an asset though. He was doing a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We had to be around him.
Okay.
You know, daily, and that's daily nose abuse. You feel what I
That's
mean?
pollution.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Pollution.
That's daily. You know what I'm saying?
That's pollution.
Nostrils
man. You
couldn't take it,
sucking my
fam.
growth.
Suck on the Glade plug-in. My word. Like break the oil, break it open, suck the oil up. Suck that Glade up.
Maybe he had a bad tooth.
Nah,
It's
Maybe he had a
beyond.
bad
that's
tooth.
bad
beyond.
teeth.
What you say?
Because I know a guy
when
who
you
had
say
a bad
tonsils,
tooth
what
and
else?
his
Yeah, so
was-
many different things.
Yeah.
Listen, how many?
Once I learned of a sack in your throat,
Pause.
Yo,
I was like,
How
do
many
you get
different
a
things,
space-
Naj?
How do you get a space back there, like a cavern in the back of your throat that stores stuff in there? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
It
it's
is
wild.
Just say
like that.
something.
I think he probably
Be
had
mindful.
it all.
He probably did.
All right. I don't want. Yeah, we took up some time. So I just want to say I got to give.
I want to clap it up for your cease and desist.
Yeah.
though.
I had a lot more, but we're gonna get into it next time. I don't want to take up too much time, but you know, we're gonna go at it.
Okay.
We getting to the crack now?
Yeah, we're gonna get to my number one.
Okay.
All right, so I did the list. My 5.
Okay.
Now I'm pretty sure you know some crackheads from around your way. Mac, no
I got
crackheads from
family members. That's
Yeah, so I do too. I talked about 'em. But I okay.
talk about
No, I don't say their names, but I talk about them though. But listen though. Now I don't know if you agree with me, but listen. Now this is not scientifically proven.
Okay.
It's not medically proven.
Okay.
But my theory is once you ingest enough crack and you live through it, you become a metahuman. Like you can't. For real. Because I was telling my crew, I said, listen, when was the last time you been to a
I
crackhead
might be
funeral?
able to agree with that.
When's the last time? When's the last time you been to a
Agree with
crackhead
that.
funeral?
I
You
might
seen
be able to
crackhead
agree
die?
with that.
I haven't seen it, right? So I was talking about these crackheads really shaped my life growing up. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we started off with my man Cigarette Butt Man. Now Cigarette Butt Man, he would.
I had to try to process. I think that you got to pause like that for the audience so they can
Yo.
know cigarette butt.
Yo,
man.
my man Cigarette Butt Man came in at number 5, man, and he used to just wander the streets of Buffalo picking up cigarette butts.
And he used to do the
Okay.
windows at Razor Shirt.
No, that's Bottle Man. That's Bottle
Oh,
Man.
that's Bottle Man.
Yeah.
The dark skinned
Okay.
dude.
No, this dude was big with the ears. Finish the list.
Yeah. Yeah. So he spent his whole life, and I said if he's still out there, me and Matt, we gonna buy him we might just get him a lifetime supply at the reservation so he can get a full cigarette. He never had a full cigarette.
Oh,
day
he
in
was
his life.
picking up the bus to smoke.
We smoking butts.
How many?
And
How many,
sometimes, now,
how many
you know-
puffs he got?
you know-
I thought you meant he had like a cleaning.
No, he's
Right.
smoking cigarette.
Rock. How many puffs he get out of it?
Just an inhale and drop. And most of the time, it might have even been that. He probably was smoking. Think about it. He was smoking filter.
You see how creative you get, though?
No, I'm saying filter though.
See how creative
No, you
your mind
understand.
can get? Like, you can be like, yo, you know what?
What
I
I'm
ain't got no
saying
time
is,
to
though,
just
can
join up.
you imagine the amount of hand, foot, and mouth disease, mesothelioma, and things that he
SARS, MRSA,
You feel me? That he lived with his whole entire life.
that probably never even
But
touched
just
him.
think about that life, though. We all people in here with purpose, and we doing things. Imagine that was your life purpose every single day to get dressed, fully clothed, and just scour Buffalo, scour the streets of the East Side and re-smoke cigarette butts. That was your life.
Well,
that-
I've been through some things in my life, especially
That
Sure.
low.
transitioning from the streets. I ain't never did nothing like that.
Okay,
but
cool.
I've done some things that, not knowing what my direction was going to be,
Okay.
figuring out some other things. In your lowest moments I feel like is when you learn how to be creative.
Mhm.
But in being creative, you also learn how to defer judgment,
Yeah.
right? Like, shit, I did some things I ain't never think I would do,
Mhm.
proactively and reactively. So
Mhm.
I can't really say. My mom is still afflicted by drug abuse to this day.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So she did probably the strongest thing she could do, which is leave her kids. So I
Right.
can't
Wow.
really,
Yeah. That's
I
it.
can't really.
Don't give us too much, man, because we got to get into your story. So you know what I'm saying. We don't.
Oh, I thought
let me do my
I thought
job.
it was gonna be.
Let me do my-
I'm
let
just
me-
saying I couldn't really. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
really-
We gonna get there. Don't
Soon as-
jump.
soon as-
Don't
That's
jump
why,
ahead of
like
us.
Soon as
from the beginning,
As soon as he
I'm
finishes
like, I don't know.
crackheads, as soon as he finishes crackheads,
Yeah,
we gonna
we
dive.
go in. You can
we gonna
can-
swim it.
You can dive in.
Yo, you,
You know what I'm saying?
Pause. Little man told me pause over here. Pause.
you see,
Give me the pause button.
police over there.
Yeah,
What
say
he do?
pause.
What he do? He like,
Word.
oh.
Yeah, hit the pause button. Like, yo, say
Hey,
pause,
yo.
fam. Nah, word.
10 going on my father.
My number 4 was Delaware Park, man.
Okay. Which is the bottle man, right?
No.
All these people are
Crackheads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
My number 3
Mhm.
was Peanut.
Okay.
Number 2 was Bottle Man.
Okay.
Number 1, this got to be everybody number 1.
Talk to me.
Is it a lady?
She's the queen of crackdom.
Talk to me.
Amazing.
Talk to me.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Rest
peace.
in peace.
You already
Let's
know where
go.
I'm going, right?
Let's go.
Claire,
Claire.
man.
Claire.
Claire, man. Gotta
Rest in
give.
peace, Claire.
She
Claire.
got hit by a car to
Yeah.
get out of get up out
Yeah.
of here. She done been through a lot.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
And listen,
She came from a wealthy family too.
That's what I
they
heard.
say.
That's what I
they
heard.
say. I don't know how true that is.
No,
but
it's
that's
true.
What they say. It
It's
is
true. It's true. She came from a wealthy family.
I got one.
So that proves it.
I just got one story about her. You know what I'm saying? It's many. And I'm sure we all had encounters with her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I used to see her when you know what I'm saying. We used to remember Kid Cole had the studio on Main, right? So I used to always see her by the Burger King over there. So, you know, I remember one day, me and wifey, we went to the drive-thru, and I said, yo, this is genius. Now she was, she would beg you for, $1, whatever the case may be.
Right.
I think she got to a point where she got fed up of people saying no. So she said, what I'm going to do to you lying ninjas telling me y'all ain't got no money, I'm going to meet y'all right at the drive-thru. As soon as y'all go out to pay for your burger, I'm on you. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So it's summer. I got my window down. And, I'm just talking. I think I probably had the music up loud. And then I look over and her head, she was right in my window.
Oh.
Like, yo, what's up? What y'all got for me?
No shame.
No shame. All the way in my window. Broke her off. One day I was with Donald. Donald's selfish, you know what I'm saying? So he went and got some Burger King or whatever. And Claire asked us, she was like, what you got, Papa? That's what she said. What you got for me, Papa? And
I'm trying to keep it
that's how she hit it. She was like, yo, what you got, Papa? And D was like, I ain't got no money because I just spent it. She was like, well, what you got in that bag? Let me get a bite. Yo, she was for real. Like listen, you might not have no bread, but I want a bite of that burger. What you got, Whopper Jr.? Whopper? What you working with?
Right.
I'm just here to say I got to give her props, man. Rest in peace. But that's my number 1 crackhead of all time. I think
she was the one.
Think about what she did. Griselda. Record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she done took.
Was she inspired?
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
I will say this about Claire. Claire was very intelligent. Very intelligent. I had conversations with her a couple of times, and you know, I always like to do that. I always like to understand and see people's story and how they ended up like that.
Right.
It's by choice. You know what I'm saying? Her family denounced her because of her choices.
Okay.
So, they say you're not welcome to none of the money or
But
to the
you
wealth
could've
that we
been
got.
motivated by ill psychopathology.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's just a sad thing that a lot of times there's a lot of people that do that. Even like with Julius Erving's son, you know what I'm saying? He committed suicide. A lot of people that come from wealth, they are separate from the family, and mostly, like you said, with the mental thing, they feel like they can't measure up to what already has been done before them.
Right.
So they go off and do
Let's
something
escape.
different to get attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or just deal with the circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I'm living in the streets to get attention from nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's just what it is.
So yeah, man,
care
that's
nothing
my
about
number
nothing
1.
else.
Oh, I gotta clear something up. Remember what we talked about?
Yeah.
So I said last week. Remember I said you had some crackhead characteristics.
Correct. And I didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't want people out there to think my man.
and-
No, hold on. But I don't want people to think he's smoking nothing like that. But I'm just breaking it down. Remember I said people.
I couldn't even imagine that.
No, but I said. Remember I said crackheads they sell the unsellable.
Mm-hmm.
They steal the unstealable.
Mm-hmm.
Things of that nature.
I don't steal.
No, you don't steal.
Okay.
But you do sell the unsellable.
Sell other people's
Now
mail.
I'm gonna tell you what he did. He just made me do it. He just made me do it like about a month ago. Remember them Clippers? Now I told you I didn't want the Clippers.
That's not the unsellable though. That is a dope
Be
product.
nice with them.
Listen. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm cool with him. But he said no. Let me finish
Who
my
taught you how to
point.
cut?
You did.
Okay.
You
Now
did.
finish your point.
All right, cool. So I told you I didn't want the Clippers, right? He was like, all right, yeah, you sure? I said, yeah, man, I don't want the Clippers. I'm good. So guess who shows up at my house 2 days later with the Clippers? Put them on my table. I'm like, yo, just test them out. That's what he said. Just test them out, man. No
I
worries.
think he got me like
Hold
that.
on,
over
just test them out.
Christmas.
Now I'm thinking, okay, my brother, he about to look out for me because I just told this nigga I don't want him. So maybe he just like, yo, he feeling charitable.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
hold on. So then he noticed my fade was tight the one day. He was like, yo, you using clippers, didn't you? He said $100. You know what I'm saying?
He just
Man,
sold
I owe
me
him
some clippers.
$100. Like that. Bam. I told him I ain't want
Oh
them.
my God, that's your price? $100?
Listen. Nah,
He sold
the
me some
Clippers,
for
the
$100.
Clippers that I sold her.
He got you too?
He got
He
me.
got you
The
too.
Clippers that I
He got
sold
me.
him, it was like $300.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So
And that's what he do too.
That's
Now,
what he did to
since we
me.
gonna go there,
He put
he
yeast
said
on it?
he gonna put his price up. Now,
That's what he
and
did.
put a
Now
little
listen.
yeast on it.
nah,
listen.
man.
now the
That's
man, I'm a sneaker collector.
Mm.
I got like 560 pair of sneakers, right? Yeah, I'm a collector. So he wanted some Air Max 90s, and I don't really rock with the Air Max 90s no more. But I had about 50 pair. I'm just trying to get rid of whatever.
Mhm.
So he's like, "Yo, what's up with them Air Max, Rock?" I said, "Come on through, man. I got you." Y'all gave this man like 13 pairs of sneakers for $150, right?
Oh wow.
Love, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Now, what did you try to charge me with them clippers?
I took more than half
You
off.
should have seen these clippers. The clippers
I
look
took
like
more
they've
than
been
half
through
off.
everything.
You.
Everything.
They've been used.
They discolored. The paint gone. The paint gone. You gotta smack them.
That's
You
just
gotta
the way.
smack them for
That's
me.
just the way they look, man.
Listen.
They
He
cut
definitely got me.
immaculately.
He got me.
Wait, wait, wait.
$100.
Immaculate.
Hold on.
Immaculate,
Wait a
man.
minute.
Immaculate.
You know the line is. What'd I say?
You said, I don't know what
heard
you
it, but I
said.
just-
It
What'd I
was
say?
wrong.
What'd I
It was
say?
wrong. I correct you.
No,
It's
no, no.
okay.
What did I say?
You said something that wasn't right, but I got you.
Right. Well, maybe I was fumbling over two different words.
Yeah. Mhm.
But to your point, them
You
clippers
did
was
the
Like
same
that
way.
Hold on.
negotiation.
Right.
Maybe I was
I was looking for clippers. He was like, "No, don't get those. I got some for $100."
He got you to 400.
Listen. Hold on.
And did.
Listen. First of all,
used.
that was used price. Listen, them brand new. Them was $292 plus tax. Like you gonna go spend that? I gave them to you for $100.
What about all the new sneakers I got you? I gave you.
You gave me a good deal. Appreciate it.
I did. And see?
I
Now,
like that concession.
Hold on.
You gave me a good deal.
now
What
we're
can I
going to
say?
talk about Bottle Man, right?
Okay.
How are you with bottles, Mac? Be honest.
How am I?
How are you with bottles?
I'm not leaving no money on the table.
Yo,
if,
listen,
if I see him
Mac
on the
definitely
street, I'm
gonna
going to
get
get
that.
him.
Yo, listen, we at church. he seen somebody, they was throwing bottles at the guy. He said, I know you throw about. Yeah, what y'all doing with these bottles?
Let me get
At
them.
church. Let me get them. Let me hold that.
Let me get them.
My brother had a grand opening at his sneaker store.
Where is that?
It's in the Falls.
Word.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yep. It's called Dreams, man. Shameless plug, man. Go see my brother if you need some of them
rock
things,
with your
man.
brother out. Man, I ain't
Yeah.
seen him in a minute either.
Yeah, yeah. So, we got water and stuff, and people, he's like, yo, Aaron, what you doing with them bottles? Like, listen, I watched the man come out of the bank. He had 70 cents in his dash. He was like, damn, I should. He was hot that he forgot the 70 cent to put in the bag. I said, damn, man, it's like that, fam.
Man, he told me a while ago that them bottles pay for so much extra stuff. for him,
I'm
man,
not
so I
judging because
can't
I'm the
knock
same
that.
way.
You the same way?
Yeah.
I
can't
go to my
knock
friends'
that.
cookouts in the summertime. I be like, put this bag away from me.
Yeah.
All right,
I
man.
find
I'm
money
not
in the street
judging.
and pick it up.
Listen, to close it
I'll
out,
be like, man,
Close
this
it out.
quarter, I'm getting this
to
quarter.
close it out, to close this portion of
Go ahead.
the show out.
Go
Remember
ahead.
that gray Lexus I had, the
Yeah.
LS430?
Play for it in bottles?
Bottle with bottles.
Nice.
Now let's get into our guests.
Nice.
Yeah, you are amazing.
Let's
You're
get to
a
our
hell of
guests.
a guy.
Let's get into our
man.
guests.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're a
Let
hell
me,
of a
let me,
guy.
let me explain something to you. Saving is saving, no
It's
matter
like
where it come
stocks
from.
and bonds.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm
Like
saying?
more like up and down, right?
You know,
there.
you
Smack me up, man.
you got people that throw pennies. I said, why would you do that? You could just gave it to me.
Right.
He's like, man, I
Right. I
don't do
get them
pennies.
joints.
You don't do pennies. I said, but you broke.
I
What you want to do
not take
pennies
them
for?
joints.
You broke and you struggling. You asked me for some money. The pennies that you just threw away,
Right.
I just let you borrow that
My man.
to give it back.
My man would.
You understand what I'm saying?
My man would. Nah. But man, let's get into the guest, man.
Let's go, man.
Let's get into him. So, man, here we like to hop in the DeLorean and go back in
Oh,
time.
shit,
You feel me?
man. Like my skin, I just caught a chill. So I feel like it's about to be something
Nah.
crazy.
So we like to go back in time, man. So start from the beginning. So like, how was your beginnings, man? Like, how was life for you as a youngin growing up?
Like Buffalonians, very humble beginnings. Come up on the east side. My family still live on the east.
Okay.
Crazy. Mom, dad separated. My dad got like 5 baby moms. But you don't grow up in it like that. You know what I'm saying? You grow up in it like this, my brother, you know what I mean? You you know, back then you just had like your family unit, how it would be. You don't know how that is until you look back.
Yeah.
But my mom, she left early on. I was very young, but it was because of those proclivities. You know, she had some mental health things probably that she was dealing with, but the crack was the most obvious thing that we saw, right?
Yeah.
But nobody in their right mind is going to treat themselves like that, right?
Right.
How we look in here, nobody with
Right.
their right minds is going to treat themselves like that. So I came up, my part of society very much made my identity.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up doing the same sorts of things that folks was doing. And I just had, I don't know, I just had a little bit of extra fairy dust on me. I went to the military and lived in Hawaii for some time. So I got to see things from a different aspect of life. And then I came back home, got to really understand economics and how economics work, especially for us as Black men. Like what's our place? I got to really understand that for myself, and you know, became a better hustler, became a better street hustler, started to get all the things that I could imagine. And then you know, you go through all of the things that come with that. Then I had this dude. And I always say that he was the greatest accountability factor because it gave me an excuse to really live my authentic life, right? Like pursue something that was authentic to me versus living through my insecurities because I felt like I needed to have what you had. I needed to have a beautiful woman with me, all these other things. So I quit the streets cold turkey. And it was, you know, the fraternity I'm a part of, the family I'm a part of. That was a real wild situation for them to understand. Like, they asked me straight up, "What you got? What you got? Some heat on you? You got some problems? What's going on? Why you stopping? Especially when you good at it, right? What's forcing you to do this?" I'm like, man, I just want something different. I want something that was just way different.
What made you choose the military over like going to college, like after high school?
There wasn't no plans for me. I ain't had no plans. My cousin come from that. His father did 10 years in the Air Force, so he was just like, "Yo, come with me into the buddy program." And I was getting in crazy trouble already. I had been stabbed, brought home and brutalized by the police in front of my parents. Just wild stuff. I live on Walden. You know what I mean? If y'all, you know what I mean? It was just wild stuff. So, and I'm the baby, so it was just, I just didn't have no plans. And like I said, my mom had already had that affliction, so I never really, the streets was never really my choice. It's just what was right there. You know what I'm saying? So when he came with this opportunity with the buddy program, I was like, man, shit, I ain't doing nothing anyway. But my recruiter is what really got me, because he was like right after I got stabbed in my head with a screwdriver, he was like, man, I was like, man, because you know, you'd be scared of going in the military and all that. He was like, man, well, if you die, at least you would die for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out here just wild and doing nothing, man. Dedicate your life to something. And that kind of was like, all right, I still ain't know what I was getting myself into, but I was like, all right, let me try this thing. And that kind of like freshened me up as like a citizen, because I didn't know nothing about nothing. Credit, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that by the negative and pull myself out of it. So when I come home, I had already invested in an MGI bill. I didn't even think I was smart. And I started going to college while I was doing what I was doing. And dean's list and all this stuff is coming, and I'm pouting, I'm upset, I'm stomping through school, and I'm like, yo, why I got my name up on this building? I come to class every day, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. Why y'all got me up here like this? And then my advisor was like, sit down, young man. Being on the dean's list is actually a great thing. This is what you want.
Oh, you thought it was something negative.
Yeah. I thought I
like
was in
the
trouble.
principal's office.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought I was in trouble. So I was like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And then I thought, because it was ECC, I'm like, well, maybe it was supposed to be easy like that. Went to UB, went further into psychology, and kept getting the same results. Right? So I'm like, all right,
that's
cool.
dope, man.
You know what I mean? Thanks. You was there. You mean you was around through that. So, you know, graduated.
That's where you got your master's from, UB?
I got my master's from Buffalo State.
Oh, okay.
In creativity. That came a little bit later because, again, you think as you got a degree plus my military service, I'm thinking that, you know,
You made it.
Yeah, you could find something.
Yeah.
You could find something, but
Still ain't enough.
nah, especially if you don't know nobody.
Right.
Like if I
Right.
knew y'all and y'all was into something else, and then
Right.
you like, y'all, I know Najja, I rock with Najja, I want to give him an opportunity. But in Buffalo, you kind of drowning because the demographic is 82.2% white in the 2 counties. So I remember being young when I first come home out of the military, and I'm trying to get jobs and all that, and I got a job at UPS, and this white dude that I knew, his grandfather was talking to both of us, who was like, no disrespect, I don't mean to offend you, but how did he get the job over you? You know what I mean?
He said that to you.
He said that to both of us.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then my dad is a 40-year railroad vet, 41-year railroad vet. So he tried to get me on the railroad. His name is Robert Lee. My name is Najja.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at that time, it was the early 2000s.
Right.
So that didn't work out for me. So driving cab every single night, running into Claire and everybody else.
Right.
It just seemed like the natural thing. You know what I mean? Start selling crack because it was just available. It was just around.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
You
I
did
didn't
that
have any
after your
prospects.
degrees?
I did that while my degree, while my,
okay.
besides my master's.
Yeah.
My master's I started when he was born. I quit cold turkey right then.
Yeah.
It was the hardest thing in my life. I went homeless.
How many years did you do in the military?
I got 6 years on paper, but I only really had to do 3.5.
Okay.
I did the Air Force a favor by getting out early.
Okay.
So
What do you mean by
honorable
that?
discharge. They had this program called Force Shaping, and I knew I wanted to get out, and I submitted to go out with what's called Palace Chase, which is you do double the time you have left in the reserves. So I filled out that application, and they returned an email back to me and said, hey, we have this opportunity for you to have all your credits and get out early. So I got to the briefing, and I seen all kind of like officers and all this other stuff in there. I'm like, oh, okay, so this must be legit. And I got out in 3.5 years with all my, like, if I go back in right now, my time started at 6-year point. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
That's why I say, like, looking back, I affirm by the day my God don't play about me, man. Because looking back, it was so many, like, it was so many opportunities, so many chances, especially like just running around here in Buffalo. It just could have been over.
So why didn't you re-enlist instead of going the other route?
Because of the conformity. Like, I didn't feel like I was a real man. I felt like I was their man. You know what I mean? Like, everything was cookie cut for me. Excuse me. Everything was kind of put together for me. You go to this station, you get this kind of money, you do all these other sorts of things. And I was like, okay, cool. And I still got to wear this uniform. And then I served in 2 wars. I'm like, man, I don't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I think I could do something else.
What wars you served in?
Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Okay.
So how was your experience like over there?
Shit. I was already activated before. Actually, it was calmer than here.
Really?
To be honest. I mean, it was still a lot of stuff going on, but like my whole life was
right.
wild.
Iraq is on Walden and Broadway and Sycamore. Huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't Disneyland.
So this is more controlled Iraq.
You see what I'm saying? This is structured.
Right.
And you get paid for a mission that they tell you to do. Honestly, everything in my life has been so much easier than the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everything else was just like, oh, you want me to do this? Oh, okay, cool. You want me to put this together? Fine. You want me to facilitate? Oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Everything else has been so much easier than what I needed to do to survive getting, early on. Like not having those initial people that commune around you to make sure, like, to make that investment for you to grow. Just think about what you do for your kid.
Right.
Go to court for him, you go with him and talk to him and stuff like that.
Right.
My era wasn't plentiful like that. I don't know too many of my friends that had it like that, to where, for one, that their father was even around.
Right.
Your father around, but he's a man.
Right.
And he don't move like, hey son, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? You good? What's going on? It wasn't none of that. It was my life was pretty much kind of like conveyor belted forward. You know what I mean? Here's this woman that's my girl now, and her 2 kids, you're gonna be here because your mom's strung out, kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you know how that can go.
Right.
In the house with some people that ain't.
With some strangers. And you trying to figure it out on your own, and you wondering like, all right, Dad, where you going? Why you leaving me here with these
I was
people?
crying, crazy, like Dad. Like when I seen him, it was like, oh, Dad, you know what I mean? Like where you been? Because she had told me she put him out.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn, I'm you know what I'm saying?
Put him out and left you there.
You polarized because you can't even really. I felt like I couldn't even really show no emotion.
Wow.
Because I'm here.
Yeah.
Like what am I supposed? I got to be on guard. You know what I'm saying? And then he came back and it was like, I'll never forget. He was like, "This is my house. Anybody leaving, she leaving." But then he dip off again back to work. He might be gone for a month.
Because he's
so
on the
he was at
railroad.
work.
Yeah,
He
worked
wasn't.
the
He didn't just
railroad.
leave her because of her situation. He went to work.
No,
Okay.
he was going to work every single. Like the minimum was a week at a time, and he was traveling for that. So he'd be in Boston, all up and down the Eastern Seaboard, Boston, Florida, wherever, Carolina, Georgia, wherever. He'd be all over that. You know what I'm saying? And he made more by driving there instead of flying there. So, and that was his thing. He liked to do. So he'd drive there and all that. Like I said, he's an impeccable man to watch. But that father department is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't knock him. He did the best what he could with what he had. But I'm grateful that my situation ain't like that, and I could be far more present in my son's life, and we got a co-parent. Yeah. Right, because of certain traumas that manifest in life, and that's probably hard enough for him already.
Now during that period of time, how did that affect you going to school and learning?
Like I told you, I didn't think I was that smart. You know what I mean? So what I think like a lot of black kids, I probably got really sharp at fitting in. You know what I'm saying? Doing whatever was required, and that was largely just tipping the scales for more masculinity, sharpening your manhood on women, knocking dudes out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Taking it to the extremes, going, all of the things. I got knocked in the 3rd grade with a porno magazine. So that just goes to show you what you're
trying to figure things out for yourself.
Because things was already happening to me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right,
I was already introduced to certain things. So there was no barrier for this. There was no wait for this. It was like, okay, in figuring out, because you get left around people as a kid and stuff happened to you. So you okay, this is what I like. This is what I'm into right here. Take the magazine to school, show my best friend, because again, points.
Somebody told
you
on
ain't
you.
got this. You ain't got this. Remember the flip up desk?
Yeah.
Got my desk. I'm like, yeah, you don't see that. You ain't got this. You know what I mean? She come walk, this girl Danielle come walk behind my desk. I'll never forget it, man. Miss White, my teacher, my 3rd grade teacher. She went and told her, I was like, they got nasty stuff in his desk. And I could have skinned her looking at her. Just like, just lazy, you know what I mean? And she did the right thing. She did the right thing. That just shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I got turned on to porn in the 5th grade, man. I remember this white dude named Danny. He came to school and he's like, "Yo, I'm telling y'all, man, I found my dad's stash of joints," or whatever the case may be. We was like, "You lying, man. Bring him to school tomorrow."
Yeah, see?
Yo,
You see?
he brought them joints to listen.
Look how many laws that kid broke just to be
Listen,
yeah.
He came back, and his book bag looked like it had books in it. That's how many joints he came to school. He gave me 10 joints, gave my other man 10 joints.
Tapes or books?
Books.
Oh, yo.
No, books and tapes, though.
Yo, my
books and
father
tapes.
My father crushed me like a pop.
Yeah,
can.
books and tapes. And then that day I knew, I said, "Danny, your parents is freaky, man." I went home and threw them VHSs in, man. It was bestiality going on. It was all kinds of crazy. Yeah. I said, "Yo, Danny, man, your mom and pops is wild, man."
My dad worked on the railroad, so he had friends that owned erotic shops.
Okay.
So they would be gifting him stuff, like certain things. You know what I mean? And man, it's just, that's just
and then when you get turned on to that so young, it it forms your shape of how you view women and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It messed me up.
It shaped your
It
outlook on
yeah.
life. Because if I'm honest, it was the inappropriate touching
Right.
and sexual behaviors that
Right.
was cast on that you can't do nothing about when you're a
Right.
kid.
Right.
And that kind of forced you to think early on, like, why is somebody doing this to me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if I felt like I had a choice, and my choice was now like taking the book to be like, see, this is what I'm into.
Right.
Right.
Kind of thing. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Did that change your view on like women or how you deal with relationships?
I think my upbringing as a whole changed my relationship on how like my outlook on how I view relationships and deal with women as a whole. I treat life like university, learning as I go, and a lot of things I didn't know. I thought I was just supposed to be masculine early on. I've been married before. I thought I was supposed to be just super masculine and you gonna do what I tell you to do type of thing. Like not like, I guess it is abusive, but like, what you going out for tonight? You ain't going out tonight. 21 years old, something like that. She a little bit older than me, and you ain't, what you think this? Because I'm watching my brothers, my cousins, everybody else, my dad operate like this. So I'm thinking that's the way, just fitting right in. I'm not understanding why it's not working.
Right.
Like why it ain't fitting. So, you learn, you knock your head around a couple of times like that, then you be unsuccessful with something that you care to be successful about. That shaped my whole thing. Like when I went homeless, that stopped everything.
That was after the marriage?
Yeah, I got married in early 2000s to make more money in the military. She put me onto that. Like, you want to make some more money, we need to get married. So you
She was in the military too?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
She was a military brat.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
she knew how to game.
Right.
I mean? And she wasn't telling me to get married so she could get money. She was already getting money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just was always on that mindset, like, man, this ain't enough.
Right.
I mean, I need some more. And she like, man, well, you can do this. I was like, all right.
Get that extra 1,200 in your check when you get married.
Yeah, extra 27.
Okay.
And she was already
double
in the petty crimes. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So the longer that is, still be learning. I still learn how to treat people, how to treat women. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's stranger today. You come in authentically and it's softer than what the world treat a woman. She not ready for that. So you come in and everything is all soft, and then I just came dealing with 2-3 higher dudes. Mm-hmm. So I ain't, I don't even know how to treat you. I don't even know how to treat this situation. So, just learning. I just be learning.
Your bachelor's is in psychology?
Yes. The concentration in mental wellness.
So did psychology help you?
Yes.
Mature and...
It definitely did. Because it taught me what maturity was, right? Maturity is closing the gap on impulse and action. It's not like I always thought it was an age thing. You act mature. Mm-hmm. So I was able to do that, right? But especially with being obsessive compulsive, I wasn't closing the gap on those impulses that I would have and the action that come soon behind that. So I had to start learning how to manage myself, manage my emotions, and regulate how I would move forward, right? Like before I just start to act, because I was very short fused. And I felt like insecure, very small man. Everybody else in the world was bigger than me. So what's up? What you want to do about it? Carry the gun every single day. No reason. In the barbershop, cops seeing my gun, all kind of stuff. I could have went to jail a lot of times. Didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So, of course it did. Made me stop being afraid of my own shadow. I mean, and that's a lot of reckoning to deal with. You know what I mean? Is to admit that most of the decisions that I'm making throughout the day is made through my insecurity, not through my authenticity. That's tough. That's tough.
How did you go from getting a bachelor's in psychology to a master's in creativity?
I wanted to be.
And what is a master? I never heard of that before. So what is that
I know,
first?
I hear that all the time.
He's glad you asked.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that all the time because I wanted to know too. I really wanted to be a clinical psychologist, and I wanted to be able to bring this back to the hood, right? Just to be able to practice and help folks out. But I put all my eggs in one basket in the clinical school for psychology in Chicago University, and I didn't get it only because I didn't take a GRE.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a letter to the representative, our local representative, like, yo, I feel like they're just trying to keep another black kid out or whatever. I'm trying to get in here. And Dr. Marsha Jackson, who I later found out was my aunt through marriage, she saw me at my aunt, who I had been estranged from because of my mom's sister. I had been estranged from her for like mad years. So we had a cookout over there, and she come in there, senior vice president of ECC. I'm like, man, what you doing here? She like, what you doing here? I'm like, this is my aunt. She like, this is my sister-in-law. I'm like, no way. So she like, so what you doing with that brain of yours? And I'm like, man, she looking around. I got a rental in the driveway I done had for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Just throwing money away.
It's crazy. So I'm like looking around, like, man, all my cousins there. We all there, big, Jewed up.
Right.
Like, man, you know what's going on. You see what's happening. I don't even want to have to tell you that. And she was like, you don't want to do nothing else? You don't want to do nothing with that brain of yours? I'm like, of course I do. She was like, you don't want to go back to school? I'm like, yeah, but where am I go?
Right.
Told her about the GRE. She was like, man, forget all of that. I'm going to make a call to my soror and we're going to get you in the program. She was like, but you better show up. I said, trust me, if you make the call, showing up to be the least of your worries.
Right.
So she made the call to Buff State first. I went to Buff State. And then Dr. Kimberly Jackson there was like, yo, we don't have no practice in psychology. We got educational psychology. I'm like, yeah, that ain't for me. So I tried to get a multidisciplinary degree with a master's in public health, master's in public administration with a concentration in creativity because that was the only thing that they had. But then I'm like, what is this creativity thing? Man, I ain't trying to be basket weaving for no master's degree.
Right.
And she was like, no, this is a master's in science. Excuse me. And she was like, the campus is actually known for the creativity department. And that program is like world renowned. Like she lit up. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, let me go over here and see what's going on. She was like, do that. See if you can get you an advisor. We can get you in as a late registrar. So we went through that whole program and I got in. And then when I got in, I didn't know nothing about Saturday classes, Sunday classes. So I had 2 8-hour classes, Saturday and Sunday stacked. Brand new baby. He born in May, school started in August. So, and it wasn't no like we back and forth. I'm living at her house, she living at my house. It wasn't no none of that. It was split right in the middle. So he here, brand newborn, or there. So I missed Saturday, came back on Sunday late because I had to swap him out at the gas station. And my professor was like, man, I ain't never seen somebody miss a whole day and be late the next day and be successful in this course. I told him everything I just told y'all. And he was just like, all right, well, let's see. You know what I mean, you stay today. We're going to see if that work. And I just was in that joint like star pupil. And he was like, all right, you good. You could stay. You good. And he ended up being a mentor that grew into a close friend that really showed me the ropes, showed me the game and consulting. I was hungry. They opened up a apprenticeship that they never had in the department for me. Started telling me how much they was making and doing this. He particularly was making like $13,000 a day doing consulting work.
Wow.
So I was like, oh shit. I just gotta figure. I'm like, yo, how long do it take to be good at this?
Right.
He was like 6 years. I was like, damn. I'm gonna cut it down to 3. Right. I'm gonna make it work for me.
So in your mind, you wanted the money. You didn't really care about what you were learning, or both?
I loved what I was doing. It was the money that was like, honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
Right? Like I loved what I was doing. And I'm like, okay, with a master's, you just looking around in the United States, I'm thinking that I should be able to create a life for myself, 6 figures, right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really concerned about that. I was just more concerned about like, what y'all do? How y'all doing this? Because y'all walk around a little differently. What y'all do? And the way I would ask questions and the things I would say to them, they felt comfortable being very vulnerable with me, how they was living. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it was like, man, my biggest contracts go for $13,500. And I was like, oh, whatever I got to do to figure that out is what I'm going to do. You So I really, and I already had a knack for this because again, I've been working myself through these behavior principles, methodologies the whole time. So now this gave me like a capstone because creativity is all about a mindset and practicality to go with it to reinforce the mindset. So you could come through the program and learn how to be creative, and that's fine, be deliberately creative. Or you could take the philosophies, integrate those things, and be creativity. Right. So once I learned those sorts of things, it just became, it ignited something about that authenticity that I was saying earlier. It reinforced it's okay to just be yourself, and how you show up is right. You know what I'm saying? And from there on, I became like I gamified it. So like, you play a video game and you get to select the character you want by being the strongest. You're like, I'm about to whoop these people. That's how I started to treat my attributes. Like I want to bring my emotional intelligence up. I want to bring my growth mindset up. I want to bring communication skills up, bring my leadership up. And I kept just staying at it. You know what I mean? And I was like, I ain't getting a job. Figure it out. I stopped driving because I kept having these accidents. Got pulled over 3 times in one day. I fell asleep at the wheel training Jordan. Remember Jordan? They used to live with training Jordan. I'm training Jordan. I fell asleep at the wheel, had a head-on collision, 4 a.m.
Y'all was tired? Oh yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
I dropped him off. I'm like, yo, I'm sleeping in the passenger seat. And he kept scaring me because you remember he didn't really know how to drive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I kept waking up scared, like, yo, drive yourself home, dude. The heat blasting on me. I'm asleep. Drive yourself home, dude, because I'm tired. And you scaring me. We'll pick back up tomorrow. Dude, don't you know? Dropped him off on Traymore and Hurdle. Drove down to about Camden and Hurdle and was asleep until the intersection at Elmwood and Hurdle. Sleep good, though. You know how you feel your body? I was sleep good and woke up and seen dude screaming.
You went through the light?
Wow.
He was screaming, and the delivery driver for Daddy-O's Pizza. Wasn't no other cars on the road.
Wow.
Wasn't no other cars on the road at all. And the last one, like, oh, shit. And wow. And police ended up giving me a ride home. I ain't getting no tickets. This dude was okay. It was like a movie.
Right.
It just like worked out. And then I was like, yo, you know what? This got to be a message. Because I had gotten in probably about 3-4 accidents. I had never had accidents in my life.
Wow.
So I was like, this is a message. I stopped driving and I just hunkered down. I had to figure it out, stay within my homelessness and the community that I developed through creativity start looking out for me. You know what I mean? And they look nothing like me. It was white.
That's dope, man.
So I started asking them, like, yo, why y'all looking out for me? You know I ain't gay.
Right.
Like just some bull, right? And they were like, man, sit down, man. Let me talk to you for a minute and let me let you know what this thing is about. Because I was using AV. I was living in the graduate house, had my whole apartment in there, had my son in there.
Thought he was lining you up, huh, man?
Man, you never know because I had been through that as a kid.
Right.
So I don't know. So remember I told you I'm making decisions out of my insecurity.
Right.
And I want to show you that this ain't what you think it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which was all wrong. But I needed those things to have happened in order to establish the level of community that helped build me up to where I'm at right now. Because my guys was calling me like, yo, I just bought this other crib over here. Come over here and live over here. They couldn't understand that I wasn't living doing that no more because I needed something else. I needed to be able to do something else. I had no other skills. I didn't think I had no other skills. I didn't know how to work for nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that was that.
So
riding my bike with my gun on me to the barbershop, getting my hair cut.
So we, this the Vision podcast. So we everything is framed around vision. You feel what I mean? Everything framed around vision work. So
messing with y'all too, I can see that.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what does vision mean to you?
You said we could swim.
Man, go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Right. So vision to me is an articulation of your imagination. And that articulation is strengthened by your intuition, which I feel is a direct connection between us and the creator. Because our imaginations aren't the same. We all have them.
Right.
But we're not thinking about the same. If I ask you what your dreams are, we're going to have totally different dreams, completely different dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it all the time. Like Harriet Tubman. Like Harriet Tubman would lay down and have a dream next to her husband. And it was the reoccurring dream where she would see herself running through the meadows free, fancifully, like Sound of Music kind of thing. And she'd wake up and be like, baby, wake up, wake up. I don't think we're supposed to be living like this. I think we should go after our freedom. You know what I mean? Like gave him a whole monologue.
Right.
He pretty much was like, you crazy. Matter of fact, you say that again, I'm gonna turn you into master myself because I hate to see anything happen to you. You know what she did?
Left him.
She was like, okay, baby. All right. He woke up one morning and she wasn't there. Gone. Becoming the person we know today.
Yeah.
Right? So I liken that to, especially like where we at in Buffalo, New York, where we got tons of talent. Tons of talent. But we come from a blue collar market. So instead of encouraging you when you come in the house and say, hey, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to do something different, people be like, but why you ain't just trying to work at UPS?
Right.
You ain't trying to just go to USPS and get you a job and save it up, get you a pension and do what you need to do, right? And don't increase your debt. Like, and I'm not saying the traditional ways of buying a house and a car. I mean, like all the other capitals, like you have a kid, you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, that increases your debt in time. Because now where you would spend that time in building something, there's somebody that's hitting your line like, yo, you better spend that time with me.
Right.
Right. So you increase your debt in a lot of ways. And we always lived in a sense of urgency. We never had the wherewithal to just sit back and be like, let me just think for a minute and try to connect the dots. It's hard to do that when bills need to be paid. Your girlfriend or your wife, she's pregnant again. Right. Just talking about the time for men that add up to this moment. Right. Like, so it's very difficult when you look at it like that. And it kind of took a lot of the blame that I wanted to put on, like, why is it like this for me? On my mom, my dad, and everybody before that. We didn't ask for this. Imagine being stolen away from your home as a little kid, your mom and your dad that looked after you as a little kid. They stole you from there. And then 500 years later, you come back home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then people at home still be like, oh my God, there go Todd.
Right.
Oh my God. Right?
Yeah.
But that's like, it's like how we are here. And I didn't understand that until I heard a Ghanaian tell that story like that. Like, yo, you just imagine if you was chilling, everything was good, and you get stolen from home, and then your people at home never see you again. And then you happen to make it back one day through atrocities and all kind of stuff. Like, so I look at that, and I look at my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my grandfather, my great-grandma, my great-grandfather. I look at their experiences. It was just doing the best with what they had in the system that not only didn't account for them, when they did account for them, they accounted for them as something as less than human, indignified.
Right.
And that indignity passes down, right? To a person at the courthouse with a salute and pajama pants on.
Yeah, word.
Just calling back to that, right?
High salute, yeah.
Like,
word.
that's just how it manifests. It's just how it manifests. You know what I'm saying? You go in a person's house and you see them with the bucket next to them, and they cleaning the pig's intestines with a knife. Like, we about to cook this up. This is about to be good. Nobody is in survival, like that level of survival in 2025. But look how far that ritual has come in half a millennia.
Yeah.
My father, I caught my father making a chitlin sandwich one day.
Hot sauce.
Man, I was like, yo, I was asking myself, I'm like, yo, because he had the bread out, the chitlins. And I'm like, yo, what other condiments do you put on a chitlin sandwich?
What do you do?
Sauce.
Hot sauce, what do you put cheese on it?
No, hot sauce and Wonder Bread.
That's it?
It's a wild
No
deal.
lettuce?
That's a wild sandwich, like man.
Yo,
that's wild.
Pops is wild,
Listen,
man.
I made a mistake and ate chitlins. I was 10 years old.
You still raw vegan, right?
I eat salmon and lamb.
Oh, okay.
Don't get this dude started. Don't get him started on his diet. Yo, let me ask you something. I just want to ask you something real quick. All right. So if somebody told you, yo, listen, if somebody told you, be like, yo, I don't eat cheese, right? But then you catch them eating pizza, right? And then they say, I can only eat cheese if it's on pizza. Do that make Come on, man. Now break that down to me.
That means you're a liar.
Give me some.
No.
Give me some psychology.
That's
on
not
that,
how
man.
it go. I said I can eat it burnt cheese because it don't have that slime cheese taste to
Oh,
it,
got you.
texture.
Copy.
You understand what I'm saying?
But so it got the same texture on mac and cheese.
I got texture
Shawnee,
issues, too.
No,
Does this make any sense?
I don't eat mac and
Don't
cheese.
just don't listen to
I
that
got
because
text-
that's
Listen,
that's
in the middle
rubbish.
of mac and
Okay, if
cheese,
it's
it's
garbage.
like undone. Like
Undone.
it's like
Who
it's
making
like,
your
I was
mac
about
and
to say
cheese?
somebody
Listen,
I don't know who.
I don't know
I don't eat
Who
mac and
making
cheese.
your
I
mac
don't
and
eat-
cheese?
Listen,
Popeyes.
bottom line is this: I don't eat mac and
Right.
cheese.
All right, but you eat
At
cheese
all.
though.
I've
Once and
eaten
for
it-
all.
With wine.
Listen, hold on.
With wine,
Every
right?
time that I ate the pizza,
Mm-hmm.
I do get sick.
Oh, you lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
off
do you
this,
drink
man.
milk?
I'm back on Naj, man.
don't.
We-
I don't.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I'm done.
I don't.
I'm done. All right, so what else, man? Because it's getting that time. What
I
else
just
we
have
wanna
one
get
more
to?
question. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we got some time.
So, do you teach like emotional intelligence in this creativity? Because I said that because in dealing with adults, I realize that a lot of adults don't have emotional intelligence or don't even know what it is.
Mhm.
And sometimes conversations with grown-ups is
Mhm.
very difficult because they don't have any emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
So is that a part, like when you're lecturing or you're teaching or whatever, does that come up at all ever?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That was a great question. I like to say that we develop roadmaps and we help people navigate those roadmaps in a playful way because you learn the best when you're having fun, right? Think about little kids and when they're doing what they're doing, they come back with a whole narrative for you. Be like, wow, you got that, yeah.
Mhm.
So we set up these elaborate roadmaps, and we our aim is to help people discover things on their own. So we set up the station, we facilitate whatever difficulties are within in that battery, and then we leave space for reflection and debrief, and then we keep that information incorporated into the roadmap moving
okay.
forward. Like how we just called back and was like, yo. So a lot of the things that we do is try to bring things to a full circle moment for those reasons, for organizations and individuals, because the things, it's like seeing your nose and your ears every day in the mirror and not realizing that they've been growing since you were a little kid.
Mhm.
Like your nose today ain't the same nose we had when we were little. In fact, your nose and your ears grow beyond death. So all the way up until you're an old person, you see them old people with them long
Yeah.
earlobes and all of that. It's always growing. So that, like for us, it's the same thing. But we get so close to problems that we think that this is fixed and this is the way it's going to be. It has to be. So it's not, I'm not an expert in your content, but I am an expert in this process. So I can help you see
yeah.
this in a different kind of way, right? If you
Mhm.
don't want that, then likely you don't want to be working with me. And that's what the price tag is for. So you can make that decision with discernment to be like, yeah, because I'm not in your household.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know that this money is going to take away from something. So like you don't want to come over here and play those kind of games. But I've set myself up in the community to make that roadmap tangible.
Mhm.
For instance, I'm the board president at the Foundry Makerspace. I'm on the board at Pinnacle
And that
Community
is?
Services. The Foundry Makerspace.
Mhm.
The Foundry Makerspace is a place to not only bring your innovation into action, but also to increase sustainability around that. So we have a partnership with this place here, $3 million economic uplifting grant for that reason. Like we bring entrepreneurs in, and they decide where they want to be, whether in a marketing accelerator, innovation accelerator, business or product accelerator, and they're going to either go to the Foundry or here. And the Foundry is a space where you can get hands on and skill up. So we got a woodworking space, we got a metalworking space, we got a tech space with an army of 3D printers. We got a textile lab where we got a collaboration with Buffalo Fashion Runway, folks over there. and they bring kids from South Park in the community, and
Wow,
they start
yeah.
designing and creating. My son is actually designed 2 shirts with them and participated in in 2 of their shows. So that's what the Foundry is. Limited partner at Good Neighbor Fund, where we fund small business, like seed fund, like small businesses, small ideas, so far to try to get them to that next step. But the real benefit to that is you welcome into a community where you have all these other successful entrepreneurs or business leaders that's willing to pour into you. And I've been mentoring for so long. I got recognized by the comptroller for mentoring in the city of Buffalo. Been mentoring for so long that a lot of these entities has turned into something fruitful, right? And they still have a relationship with me. So now when I have organizations like the Creative Education Foundation that is looking for more capital on the ground, it's a short roadmap that we have to build. I know Chelsea at the news. I can get you on the news, get you on the news with Chelsea. I could get you established with the Foundry or many other, because I used to be the facilitator for the United Way. So I know a lot of different community-based organizations. So it's just a short sale when you've been in it and making those relationships. It's not enough to just give you a roadmap. We want to change your condition. And that's the harder part. You can change your mind and you can go back to your house where they cleaning off that porkeroni and you could be like, you're going to go right back and be like, my sister say to me all the time, Farrakhan ain't looking, get you some of this. Like, yo, that ain't got nothing to do with my decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't no pork in over 20 years. So, you know,
I'm with you.
It just,
Me
over
too.
30 really, and she just ain't really, you know, it just, that can change you when you go back because your condition is what slides you back in. Just like when a person smoke crack, right?
Right.
Bringing it back to that. They go to prison, get clean, come out, got their weight up, looking good.
Then the person like,
A couple weeks later, then what happened when you see him a couple weeks later?
Come around with that A-ball. They back at him.
like, come
And
on,
it
man.
don't
I know you missed this.
Yeah, and they don't even say that. They don't even say that. You might be the living room that I'm used to being in. I've been in this living room for the past 15 years.
Right.
I come over here because I don't really got no other friends.
Right.
So I come over here with y'all and y'all smoking. Now you might be like, oh yeah, this ain't for you no more, so I ain't trying to give you none. How long before you be like, yo, let me get them?
Yeah.
They like, man, Mac got, you should go see Mac over there.
Right.
Mac got some of that crack from the 80s.
It's that time. You know what I'm saying? We got to wind down.
Let me get to one last question then.
We
Just one last question, and then we gonna be done and be closing them on out.
Okay.
What was the one thing that you would change if given the opportunity along your journey?
I can't really say that. Of course, obviously, I would have my mom in my life, right? But like, I can't really say that because I don't know any other alternative. All I know is this life that I have.
Gotcha.
And I'm very grateful for where I'm at and what I'm doing within it. You know what I'm saying?
That was a very brief and brilliant answer, man. Smack me up.
Got somewhere to go.
I like that.
Got somewhere to go.
All right,
I
where can
rocks with
people
you.
find you on social? Just social.
Everything Phoenix Innovation Group.
Okay.
Everything Phoenix Innovation Group.
All right.
PIG.
TylerMar.com. New album out this Friday. You know what I mean? Shawnee, you would have heard it, but you weren't there.
That's what I thought. The album coming out on Friday.
Nice
I'm
fit.
Album number what?
Man, I don't know, probably like 13. You know
That's
what I'm
what I
saying?
like to hear. That's what folks need to hear.
But,
It's a marathon.
Yeah. But yeah, so this Friday, man. So on the poppin', TylerMar.com.
Let's go.
Mac, what you looking forward to coming up?
What I'm looking forward to? Well, you know, you can find me on IG, Mr. Hollywood Mac _ on TikTok, the podcast 24. You know, we making plenty movies. We writing movies. We got series coming up.
Come on now.
You know, we just got a lot of different things that we doing. And sorry, what you got?
Charlie, what you looking forward to?
I'm just Shawnee 2 Eyes 10 on Instagram. That's it.
All right, listen, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Salute
Thank
to
y'all
the
for having
people.
me.
And
So is that the screen?
the screen. The screen. We're gonna do the screen now. Listen, be the change you want to see.
Fact though.
Holla.